Hey guys, Jacob here. This is going to be covering a video on Title Update 5. I did make a video on this a while ago covering the new Diamondback lever action and the new BTSU gloves, or the new exotic gloves, or the black tusk gloves, whatever you want to call them. That's the new gear piece that's going to be added to the game. And this video is going to be mostly going over the new talents for those two weapons, or gear and weapon, and the two new weapons that are going to be added to the game, which is the Stoner LMG and the new C7 or C9 rifle, which is actually an assault rifle. I didn't realize that till later on, so we are getting a new assault rifle instead of rifle. Whoever watched my previous video, that was a mistake I made. Sorry about that. But first, I'm going to be covering the two things that mostly everyone's really excited about are the two new exotics, which is the Diamondback lever action and the new BTSU gloves, which are right here. If you guys do not know what they look like, that's what they look like. That's why people are calling them black tusk gloves, because they have the logo. But first, the Diamondback exotic rifle. This is a lever action rifle, 5-round magazine, 100 RPM. The talents, which is the first one, is agonizing bite. Diamondback randomly marks an enemy. Hitting that enemy consumes the mark, guaranteeing a critical hit with 20% total damage. A new random enemy is marked afterwards whenever you reload. Next is Deep Fangs. After hitting 5 marked enemies, gain 50% reload speed, 20% damage, and all shots fired are guaranteed critical hits for 10 seconds. Shedding Skin is the third talent. While drawn, each time a round is loaded, gain 20 bonus armor for 3 seconds. While holstered, each time you reload or cycle your current weapon, gain 8% bonus armor for 2 seconds. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of lever action rifles in general, since, just in this game in general, I do use them in other games. But the 1886 isn't a rifle I don't really touch at all. It is cool, don't get me wrong, I do like the look of it, but it's just the fact that people run around with assault rifles and stuff like that. But as a secondary weapon, I will be testing this out and just messing around with it and see, how I can make it work on a build or something, or just, use it for fun. And it is nice collecting all the exotics in this game, which is kind of my goal. So I will be definitely trying to get this, and I will be seeing how you get this. So who knows, it could be easy or difficult to unlock. We just don't know yet. The next thing is going to be the gear piece, which I'm not as excited as I originally was until I did read what some of the stuff does and what some of my friends talking about the new, basically new meta for the skill builds. So I got a little bit excited after I read this, so you guys will see here, which these are the talents for the BTSU exotic gloves. Black tusk gloves talents: elemental gadgetry. Skills that apply status effects gain 50% status effect duration and 50% skill haste. Energy infusion. Whenever you apply a status effect, your gloves become infused with that for 60 seconds. While infused, you gain 10% skill damage, 10% skill healing and repair for 10 seconds, or 10% skill duration for each utility yellow battery on your gear. Charge proxies. Whenever you throw a skill 1.25 seconds after landing, it creates an explosion, implying fused status effects to all enemies within 6 meters. Enemies affected by this fused status effect take 50% more damage from your skills. So if you have like a seeker or a turret, or just basically a skill that has damage, you could essentially hit them with this and get 50% more damage from your skill, which is pretty damn awesome. So I could see why a lot of people are really going to be using these for skill builds, due to the fact that they do help your skills out, a major amount. So I can see why people are really wanting to use these, and I definitely will be trying to get my hands on these, since I'm going to be trying to collect and test out all the exotics in the game. The main thing I'm actually really excited for, which is kind of weird, is the new Carbine 7 30-round mag, 790 RPM assault rifle. By default, rolls with a new talent: overflowing. Every 3 rows from empty, increase your magazine capacity by 100%. We do have the P416, we do have the Eagle Bear, and we have like the AK stuff like that. But it's really cool to see a new assault rifle actually be added to the game, instead of them just say, oh, here's a new gun, here's a new exotic, and they don't really add anything else. But like, say when the G36 was added back in Division 1, a lot of people were excited for that weapon. So me personally, I'm very excited to see a new assault rifle. I'm just not sure what caliber it's going to be, so if I have the 5.56 mag, this will be a 50-round mag instead of a 30-round mag, which will make me and a lot of people happy who have that mag. And if you have the 7.62, you'll be able to use 7.62 rounds and stuff like that, or that mag in general, which will also fit on the weapon. But I'm pretty sure it's a 5.56 weapon by looking at the picture. But who knows? I could be wrong. But next is the Stoner LMG. That's what it currently looks like. If you are a fan of Ghost Recon Wildlands, you will recognize it. But this is the new light machine gun, the Stoner, 580 RPM, 200 mag capacity. That's 200 rounds default. By default, rolls with a new talent, Overwhelm. Suppressing an enemy that is not currently suppressed gains 5% weapon damage for 10 seconds. Max stack is 5. So if you are a fan of this gun, you will recognize it from games like Black Ops 1, Ghost Recon Wildlands, and a few other PvP games that are out there. That this gun is in a lot of games. You will see it. But it's really cool to see that there's actually an LMG that has 200 rounds in the gun in general. So hopefully you'll be able to take the large pouch. I don't see why we couldn't, and have 250 rounds and put a Lager on there and have a pretty nice gun and use this in PvP and PvE, and just have a LMG essentially with a lot of bullets and a pretty cool looking LMG as well. The next thing is kind of a small detail, but this is going to be the raid difficulty, which is set to story, and apparently they did add matchmaking. So a lot of you people who wanted matchmaking, boom, you got it. So I mean, it's right there. You don't have to really complain anymore. It appears that they did add that in the next update, or they're just testing it out. Not 100% sure, but it appears that they did. The next last thing is going to be the public test server from episode 1, and this is on PC only, July 1st, July 10th, and this is going to be the main missions: Manning National Zoo, Camp White Oak, and then Operation Dark Hours is the discovery difficulty, the Expedition, which is the new PV experience, and the new title update 5, Quality of Life. So these are going to be the things on the PTS that you guys will be able to test out if you're on computer. Sadly, I will not be able to test these things out because my computer can barely even run Division, and let alone, play PTS on it. So, but hopefully, some of you guys who are on PC will be able to play this and give your results back and let us console players know. But that's me about it, guys. Thank you all for watching. If you want more Division 2 content, make sure you subscribe. I will always catch you guys in the next one.
We had the training. We fought to protect the weak. But training doesn't prepare you to hunt someone you used to call brother. He has left us no other choice. If we don't stop him, there will be nothing left.